evening we are looking at chapter 5. Spiritual audio 5. Making the mind our best friend. Yato yato dischalati manas chanchalam ashtiram tatastato niyamyaitat atmanyeva vasam nayet. From wherever the mind wanders, due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. This is Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 6, text 26. From wherever the mind wanders, due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. Means the mind is under the soul. So we have to deliberately working on the mind if we want it to be controlled. Here, Krishna said that the mind has a nature. Two natures are mentioned here. The mind is unsteady. The mind is unsteady. And flickering. The mind is unsteady by nature. And all of us have experience, especially when you're chanting. Very easily, very easily, without difficulty. The mind is, in 1 second, it has gone the whole universe. It's in 1 second. So fast. Is it possible to control a speedy entity like the mind? So fast. How do you consume something which is so fast in movement? Is it easy? Is it easy? It's very difficult. Very difficult. So there are techniques how to control the mind. Lord Krishna requested here that we should bring it under the control of the self. You should bring it under the control of the self. What are the technologies to do this? The first thing is that we must recognize the essence. We must recognize the essence. The first thing to do, we must recognize the essence. If you control the mind, everyone just keep silent. Why? Am I asking a question about something we have said or something I didn't say? I'm just asking. What is your mind? I want to understand so I can know how to adjust myself. Why is it that when I ask you a question, you keep quiet? What is the reason for that? Did you understand my question? Why you keep quiet when I ask a question? Second time I'm repeating. I want to know this so I can know how to adjust myself. Second time I'm repeating. I want to know so that I know how to adjust myself. This is the third time I'm saying. So why you keep quiet when I say something?
Out of fear.
Is it true? Is it true? Eh?
Perhaps maybe fear in the sense like our answer might be wrong.
Okay, we are not secure with the answer. We're insecure with the answer. We are not sure of the answer. Right? Okay. We are not sure of the answer. I'm not going to cut off your head. Right? Say and we're not going to laugh at you. You say, oh, shame, he doesn't know. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We want to know how you are following, how you are understanding. That is the essence. We are looking at the essence. So that is the essence of acting. So it's a request for contribution. So that we understand. This is the fourth time I'm repeating. So I will know how to adjust myself. You understand? Fourth time I'm saying this. Why am I asking this?
Adjust myself.
So that you know that how much we understand.
Yes, and I can adjust myself. All right? Okay. So the essence of the soul is loving devotional service to Krishna. Service. And we already discussed the essence of every relationship is service. Thank you. Service. So that service can be misdirected. We are instinctively servant. In a condition level, we can misdirect the service to that which is temporal, impermanent. And that brings all kinds of frustrations and anxiety. So Krishna is speaking to redirect us back to the essence, which is Krishna. The essence of everything is Krishna. Furthermore, the Godhead is so mystically creative, cleverly subtle, and extraordinarily diverse, that recognizing and honoring Him at every moment requires great mindfulness. Is it clear?
Yes.
Can you repeat it?
The Godhead, Krishna, is so mystically creative, cleverly subtle, and extraordinarily diverse. That recognizing and honoring Him at every moment requires great mindfulness. Not mindfulness, great mindfulness. Great mindfulness. Krishna is mystically creative. Very, very creative. How creative Krishna is. How creative Krishna is. How creative Krishna is.
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Give example. How creative Krishna is. Give example. You should have something.
So many varieties.
Yes. Krishna created a machine like man and woman, just two person, and then whole universe is filling, and it will always keep producing. It is always going on. Just one man, one woman. This is very inconceivable creation.
Very good. Creative.
Srila Prabhupada once gave an example. He said that look at an orange. So the skin of the orange is the airtight container for the fruit orange. Once you remove the skin, the fruit gets spoiled. But if the skin is there, the fruit remains intact. So he said, we create airtight boxes, Krishna already created it.
You understand? Very nice.
Once Prabhupada
It's
said
very creative.
once Prabhupada said that the stagnant water is always means it will get contaminated with something, dirt and like this. But God created stagnant water of ocean and put the salt in it so that it will not get affected.
Very good. Very good. What of Maya? What of Maya? Maya is not creative? That is Krishna. Is Krishna's creative? Mystical creation. Mystifies everyone in this world. Just one thing. Just one thing. Is it not? So mystically creative. That is Krishna. Maya can deceive anyone with very convincing facts. Do you remember the story?
Yes, yes.
Good. Which one? Which one?
Like the other day you told in your lecture that the other gopis were complaining, wants to complain Mother Yashoda about what naughty activities he's doing. So one of them pulled his hand and took, and then when he was there, he disappeared. I mean, it was his own son.
It's Upananda's wife. What's Narada Muni? Remember Narada Muni? Krishna asked him to go and bring me a cup of water. When did he come back? When did Narada Muni came back?
Just remembering about.
When did he come back? That was my question. To bring a cup of water. If I send you go to kitchen here and bring a cup of water, how long will it take?
1 minute.
Just go here and bring a cup of water. How long will it take?
1 minute, less than 1 minute.
1 minute? Okay. But how long did it take Narada Muni to go and bring a cup of water?
Many years.
Years. Years. For a cup of water. It took Narada Muni many years. That is Narada. That is Narada. That is Narada. Different from us. So what about us? What about us?
They will never bring.
So we should not just look at things philosophically. We need to try to drive home our point. This is a thing Gurudev is doing here. This is what he's doing. Being mindful. Being mindful. It's just a verse in Bhagavad Gita. Just a verse. Be mindful. We have to understand the essence. Why? Krishna is mysteriously creative. Very mysterious. Narada Muni to go bring a cup of water. He came back after having grandchildren. I say, come. So is Krishna creative or not? That is Krishna's mystic power, mystic creation, Maya. So the word Maya is very, very heavy. And Krishna said, Devi Maya, Devi Maya. Devi. Devi means divine. So we should understand we cannot conquer Maya. We cannot. Devi here saguna mai, mama Maya, Drataya, mam evaye, papadiante, mayam etam talentite. That's the solution. The only solution is mam propagante. That's the only solution. And we say this very simply, but we should try to understand. It requires working on the mind. It requires working on the mind. Cleverly subtle. Cleverly subtle. Cleverly subtle. Is it true?
Yes.
To be practical, with example. It's a discussion. It's a discussion. In not a lecture, it's a discussion. So we have to flow around so that the things which you hear, you participate, you have better understanding of that. This is what we're doing.
We can say that he's the best friend of us, just sitting very near to us as a Paramatma.
Yes.
But we have so many friends in our life, we have so many persons, and we never see it to him.
Good. Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said?
Yes.
Did you hear what he said? So repeat it for me. Repeat what he said for me.
So you said Krishna is the Paramatma within us, he's like our friend, always with us.
No, I didn't actually. I'm asking. That's what he said?
He said something else.
No, what is that? Complete it. What he said.
That part I couldn't hear.
Do you know what I'm doing? 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 No or yes? You know? What am I doing? What am I doing? That is cheating. If you don't know, just say no. I don't know. So I can tell you. I want you to hear. This is what I'm doing. I'm asking because I want you to hear. Yes, now tell us. Listen.
Yeah, so we can say that this example of how Krishna is cleverly settled. That Krishna as Paramatma sitting in our heart, and he's our best friend. He knows everything about us, and he's the only friend of us. But we have so many friends, and we are looking for so many persons in our life, forgetting the main friend, Krishna.
That is the realization of Pingal. Pingal is a prostitute. 11 Canto Bhagavad. Pingal. That's her realization. I have wasted my life waiting for this man, all useless. Everybody I have looked for, they are very, very far away from me. But the best and the closest person who is my real friend, I forgot him. Krishna is cleverly subtle. The closest person to any one of us here is who? Super soul. And the farthest person to anyone here is what? Krishna. Who's Krishna? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur told us of a pujari. A pujari is what? Pujari is what? One who is worshipping Krishna. So he must be the closest person to Krishna. what Bhakti Dhira said, he became a ghost in the next life. Why? Why? He's physically close to Krishna, but is he actually close to Krishna? No. And then you also had the pastime of Alaranath, right?
Yes.
A small boy, Madhu, right? Madhu. Is not the same? Krishna wiped out the whole village. Only this boy survived. Because those people he wiped out, they were all priests from South India. All priests from South India. Krishna wiped them out. So cleverly subtle, that is Krishna. We should understand the word so we can. Our point here is to drive down the point, the essence. We're looking for the essence. And for this, we have to look at everything so we can really get the point.
I don't know if it enters into subtleties. I don't know if this enters into this category, but I like the way when the gopis and the gopas, it seems like they are fighting each other, but actually they are worshipping each other. If the words, you can take it in a different way, it changes the whole meaning. So sometimes it goes like this between them.
That is Yogmaya. That one is Yogmaya. It's different from this. Yes, it is there, but it's different from this. That is Yogmaya. When Yogmaya is acting, that is perfect, pure. When Mahamaya is working, it is contaminating. It's covering. So that's ignorance for us. So they're always different. Yes. Something else?
Kunji Maharani prays that Krishna,
Yes.
you are inside, you are outside,
Yes.
but still you are not able to see.
Yes.
How is it possible?
Yes. So many people. Kamsa saw Krishna. Do you know Krishna, Kamsa's level of Krishna consciousness? Do you know? Kamsa's level of Krishna consciousness. What's the level of Krishna the level of Kamsa's Krishna consciousness? One by one.
Always think to kill him.
Always thinking him in a different way. Not Krishna.
He sees Krishna in each and everything.
Day and night, every time he was just thinking about Krishna, not as a god.
While sleeping, walking, eating, dreaming, breathing, every time drinking water also, in one drop of water, he used to think Krishna will appear as poison. In one roti, when he breaks, he thinks, oh, Krishna will come out of this. That was any activity, Krishna comes.
Bhagavatam says that it is even more than the pure devotees. They think positively, he is thinking more negatively, more than pure devotee.
Dinabandhu Prabhu, he wrote that book, read it? He told one pastime there. Kamsa was giving food and custard. You know custard?
Yes.
What is the color of custard?
Yes.
Kamsa, kill him! In Prasad, he saw Krishna. The custard. That is a level of Kamsa's Krishna consciousness. The prasadam is it prasadam or boga?
Boga.
Which comes out.
But that is the extent of Kamsa's Krishna consciousness. But the Rupa Goswami said, it's a demon. That is not Krishna consciousness. So Kunti Devi said, Krishna is all pervading, we can see, at the same time, no one sees. How is that? Subtly clever. Is that? That's Krishna. What did we get to say? Chapter 7 or Gita. Chapter 6. I am the light of the sun, the heat, I am the taste in the water, ability in man, the strength of the strong, the intelligence of the intelligence. But who sees that? That is philosophy, but who sees that? Do we see like that? When we drink water, do we? So, Krishna. Oh, Krishna. but we read that in our Gita, no? But nobody ever said, even the Bhakti Dhira students who are just studying, oh, Krishna, very nice. No had. Right?
After Nijara fasting.
Yeah.
Maybe so we should have a carrot every day. All right? In other words, mindfulness means to constantly see Krishna or God in everything and all times. It involves the recognition of God's light, God's right to be what He wants, when He wants, and interact with us as He likes. Once the Supreme Lord takes personal interest in our lives, He also reserves the right to teach or benefit us through hard knocks or through gentle means. Each time I will pray like this. The last Astaka. On our part, we must remember to mindfully see His hand operating at all times, not only when we practice the rituals or associate with spiritual people, but constantly and unceasingly. This is a very advanced level. This is very advanced level. Therefore, the need to control the mind. Right from the beginning, Gurudev established that. The need to control the mind. Without controlling the mind, we will not come to this level. So, to control the mind is a serious issue, because that is where Krishna consciousness lies. Controlling the mind. One is Krishna conscious only when the mind is controlled. Without controlling the mind, there is no question of Krishna consciousness. We can go on and on and on and on for so many lifetimes, practicing so many things, even chanting Sisvarans every day. Without the mind being controlled, it is a level, just a level. It is just a level. So, mindfulness, everything is designed just to help us get the mind fixed on Krishna. Everything. So we are chanting, we are hearing, we are speaking, we are serving, we are doing so many things, preaching. Everything, the whole thing is to help us get the mind fixed on Krishna. When the mind is fixed on Krishna, that is the success of our Krishna consciousness. Therefore, we must recognize the essence of existence, the essence of everything, the supreme personality of Godhead. To recognize that essence, the mind has to be controlled. To control the mind, we have to learn, we have to practice how to disobey the mind. So practice disobeying the mind. You should practice second, you should practice neglecting the mind. Neglecting the mind. This Prabhupada said in the 5th canto, Bhagavatam. Neglecting the mind. And Bhujan Prabhu put it in his chapter book. Neglect the mind. 3. We should know how to trick the mind. Trick the mind. How to do that?
When we start our chanting, so initially we can just tell the mind just one round, and when we finish this one, then we can proceed on like this.
You're not going to chant 16 rounds. It's only one name. The man after you say one name. Yes, it's one name. Just one name. Just one name. So we have to gradually, it's tricking the mind, have to gradually bring down the mind, gradually. Don't close the door against the mind. It will not work. It will never work. But from today, nothing will enter my mind. Nothing. Finish. You won't succeed. You won't succeed. I promise you. It's not work. Regulation. Have to regulate the mind. How do we do that in practice? To be mindful of what we see. Be mindful of what we see. Be mindful of what we hear. Be mindful of what we talk and what we eat, both. What are we discussing regularly? What are we eating? It has effect in the mind. What we eat, what we talk, what is the subject of discussion? Prajalpa has 2 side effects. Prajalpa, 2 side effects. One is
intense sex desire.
Intense desire, yes. Sex desire will increase. Why? Why sex desire will increase? Because if you have a flat tire, will the vehicle move? If you have a flat tire, the vehicle will not move. Right? you park your own place. So when we engage in gossip, we'll be spiritually depleted. And to replace that, sex desire will manifest. It become intense. So if you want to control, we should start from Jiva Vega. It's a whole big science. It's not just something just going. So they say, "Oh, control your senses, Prabhu. Control your senses, Mataji." So control your senses. It's not just like that. We have to really involve ourselves in practice. So Gurudev is saying we should recognize the essence. All detailed explanations have to come this way. How you get everything controlled. So instead of listening to the mind and dissolving our jap, forget the mind. Just try to listen to the japa. Whenever you just go, it is japa time. Right?
What is the second side effect? One is this, increasing sex with that. A side effect of prajal. Second?
Before that, I said we'll be spiritually depleted. Depleted, I give example of flat tire. Depleted means you're spiritually impotent. Then, the next thing is to be dry. The fact that we are dry is we have the senses will be very disturbed. If we are spiritually strong, the senses will be sleeping. The senses very active means that we are feeding the senses. Our spiritual bank account is depleting. And the way to deplete that is gossiping. Idle talks. Bhakti Dhira says idle talks. Idle talks. Gossip. There's two things the gossip does. Two things. It does not increase our spirituality. It will deplete it. Right? So it's a whole practice. All technologies have to be applied. It's just one thing we've been talking since. We have not gone far. Because we want to be sure of what we're doing so we can be successful. Therefore, we need to know all these details. So when somebody comes and tell you, "Oh, Prabhu, do you know, can you imagine what Madhusudan people said to me yesterday?" What will you do? "Excuse me, Prabhu, this is time for jab. Can we discuss this later? Can we discuss it later?" Will we do that? Are we going to practice it or not?
Yes.
Oh, yes, tell me. Yes, I know. Tell me. Yes, I know him. But I just want to get it confirmed that you have come to know it by now. I know long time. Please tell me. So we go to a secluded place and have a comfortable place to sit so we can have conference. The conference is not about Krishna. The conference is about Maya. You should avoid this. If you want to control the mind, you should avoid all these things. The challenge to remain fixed in mindfulness of God always and function in ways that will constantly enhance our vision of Him. The challenge is to remain fixed in mindfulness of God. That is a challenge. And therefore we're given the practicals. So by doing this, you remain mindful of Krishna. That's a big challenge, to remain mindful. In this way, we can gradually begin to sustain a state of samadhi or spiritual trance, regardless of the external environment. We must be practicing all these things to come to this level. Without practicing this, you cannot come to this level. We can give lecture on it, and then we can also hear it, we can read it. So we should understand this. We have been repeatedly saying, if you hear and don't practice, you are not going to have the result. So as we are hearing, we want to see that we are practicing what we are hearing. We don't just want to speak because we are not interested in being professional speakers. Even if you want professional speakers, you have to pay them. You can hire professional speakers, but you have to pay them. In the spiritual circle, we speak because we want to expose us the things we need to do, how to do it, so we can achieve the goal. That is the motivation to speak, to spread Krishna consciousness, to help us understand what we have decided to do, how to do it, in such a way that we get the result, the essence, Krishna. We sometimes hear of people who continually enter into deeper and deeper state of consciousness, or who have the ability to understand things from a deeper perspective. in times to come, such abilities will become increasingly more valuable because as world affairs shift, economies collapse, and troubles increase, people who lack the ability to dive deeper into the transcendental state and experience life at a more profound level will find themselves extremely compromised and disconcerted. Some may even experience such depression that it leads them to the point of suicide. Furthermore, as the advertisers increase the hype about sense gratification and in many fantasies of utopia, more people will find it impossible to endure the level of disappointment that life will dish out to them unless they start to practice spiritual phenomena and tangible confirmations of the existence of God. In other words, make it short, if we don't practice what we are hearing seriously, a time is coming, and we're already experiencing it, where so many varieties of diseases will confront and torment everyone. When this happens, some of us will be depressed. We compromise. Compromise means we want to abandon Krishna and take shelter of Maya. Let's compromise. We're going to become so disturbed that we will not function. Do we want to wait for that time? Don't tell me no. I want to see it in your action. I want to see that in action, that we are practicing everything nicely. We are hearing, we should practice nicely. That's the main reason we are speaking. So we can know what to do and how to do it nicely. We should do it. We have been here for days speaking and hearing. We want to see that it is being practiced. We want to see that. It is already happening. What Guruji is speaking is already happening. What is utopia? Utopia means imagination. Something that doesn't exist. Something that does not exist. So, for example, I'm telling you, I need a golden mountain. You see the golden mountain? But I want to give me a golden mountain. You have it? There is a mountain, right? There's a mountain, but there is a gold mountain? No. That is utopia. It is, Bhagavad says, it arises from sense perception. Sense perception. People who are unable to go beyond mere religiosity and bathe in spirituality will fail to make deep spiritual connections. Consequently, they will be swept up by the waves of material culture, by demonic propaganda, and by the tremendous illusions that bring all kinds of gloom anxieties, and frustrations. In order to avoid these devastating consequences, we want to focus on how to see God everywhere. Is it wrong? Krishna told us to do that, right? Krishna told us to do that. Krishna himself tells us in the Bhagavad Gita 10:10. It's a Gurudev's favorite verse in Bhagavad Gita. And his life exemplified this verse. He amazes me with his intelligence every time. I wonder, after years of questioning myself, then I came to this verse. Now I understand. His intelligence. This is his favorite verse. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Dadami buddhi yogam tam jena mamu payantite. To those who constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. As we have mentioned several times in Spiritual Warrior 4, and in this book, Krishna also advises his devotees to fully absorb themselves in his worship in Bhagavad Gita 9:34. This is a verse Krishna repeated 2 times in Bhagavad Gita. 9:34 and 10:65. When something is repeated means what? It's very, very important. Man mana baba mat baktu man yaji mam namaskuru mam ebai sis asam te 𝐤𝐢𝐳𝐿 admonam mat parayana. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances unto me, and worship me, being completely absorbed in me. Surely you will come to me. How do we go to Krishna? How do we go to Krishna? What is the surest way to go to Krishna? 𝐤𝐢𝐳𝐿. Yes. The mind absorbed in Krishna. The surest way to go to Krishna. Krishna promised here. The mind is fully engaged in Krishna. We cannot think of Krishna, we cannot become a devotee without the mind. Without the mind absorbed in Krishna. Favorably. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances unto me, and worship me, being completely absorbed in me. Surely you will come to me. Krishna, who is God himself, tells us to think of him constantly, not sometime. Krishna wants to think of him constantly. God is an infallible source whose advice is much more important than the advice of consultants, coaches, or other resourceful materials. The supreme consultant is Krishna. The best coach, supreme personality of God is Krishna. Krishna actually tells us which thought and ideas should occupy our mind. However, after receiving such widely instructions, how does a person execute them? How is it possible to always remain God conscious and always think of the Lord? Although a seemingly improbable goal, this constant remembrance of God is ultimately the essence of spiritual life. When we develop the ability to always think about the supreme personality of Godhead along with his name, form, pastimes, activities, servant, and messages of love, then we will gradually enter into the Lord's arena, and in many cases, In many cases, we will quickly come to a point of directly experiencing God's blessings. All that auspiciousness arises from the mere act of simply reflecting on God, particularly when action follows that contemplation. Question?
Thank you very much for that lecture. I read in Krishna book, Krishna Prabhupada explains
las cosas como son, que ya son tan queridas en la vida del ambiente,
that the objects that are very dear to the living entity
son expansiones de Krishna.
they are expansion of Krishna.
Entonces, quería saber cómo ustedes podrían entender.
I just want to know if you can explain a little bit about this.
Which one?
That the objects
The object.
that are dear to the living entities in this material world, they are expansions of Krishna.
Objects which are dear to the living entities.
That prophecy that objects and persons that are dear to oneself, they are expansions of Krishna.
I don't understand. Better. Better.
He will bring the book so we can.
It's better. Maybe the way of putting it. Will make it different. Yeah. Which chapter is that? Krishna book? Okay, you can check it.
He's taking notes, so he will bring.
Okay. So it's better we look at it. Then we can give you answer for it. Thank you for reading every day. Yes, something else? Anyone else? Question? Yes.
Thank you, and this lecture was very, very instructive. These instructions you've been talking about is for us not to engage ourselves in prajalpa. We can see that sometimes, or most of the time, inside the temples, you are not talking about Krishna. Economy, politics. What we can do to so these topics are not engaged. The devotees not engaged in talking about.
So that is how we should hear like this. When we hear, then we understand. I should not waste my time. I shouldn't waste my time. Because we already discussed Krishna is subtly creative. And we have looked at it critically. How Krishna is doing this thing, Maya. So it's better to hear like this so we can understand. I came here for Krishna consciousness. So let me look for what is Krishna consciousness. And not to waste my time. for something that will not help my Krishna consciousness. That's the importance of hearing. So we should hear regularly. So we become aware of what we're supposed to do. And not to waste our time for nothing. Sukadeva Swami said, when the sun rises in the morning and it sets in the evening, our duration of life is reduced, not increased. So let us look at activities we do for the day. How Krishna conscious it is. The whole day. It is in our hand. Yeah? Our hands is in our hands. Krishna has put it in our hands. How we use that? What is our hand? Not that. Krishna is very, very clever. That though it is in our hands, Maya is taking it imperceptibly by perfectly engaging us to forget Krishna. This is not good. It's not good. If it is not in our hands, you can say, well, what can I do? But it's in our hands. How we use our day, what we read, what we hear, what we think, how Krishna conscious is our day. And after hearing this, what are we doing with it? It's in our hands. After hearing this and we are living here, what are we going to do after this? Thank you very much. So Prabhupada ki jai. And then what? So Prabhupada ki jai. Then it's finished. All right, something else?
Just now you have mentioned that disobeying the mind, neglecting the mind,
yes,
are all these process of completely observing ourselves in Krishna all the time, always.
Yes. If we practice neglecting the mind, if we practice disobeying the mind, we can do that knowing the essence. The whole thing, good day we discussed. We should know the essence, Krishna. So we want to engage ourselves more in Krishna and less in Maya until it is 100% off. This is the process of becoming fully Krishna conscious. We should not give importance to the mind. If you give the mind importance, it will remain important. That's why Srila Prabhupada said, one devotee asked him, Prabhupada, and I'm chanting my mind. Srila Prabhupada said, eh? The devotee said, Srila Prabhupada, when I'm chanting my mind, Prabhupada said, what is about your mind? What is your mind? Forget about your mind. Simply chant with the tongue and hear with the ears. That's all. The two things. Forget the mind, neglect.
So for chanting is to use the tongue to chant
and hear. Only two things. Only two things. Don't forget the mind. Let us try to hear what we are chanting, not the mind. When the mind sees that we are not giving importance to it, will leave us. If you knock on someone's door, after some time the door is not opening, what will you do? You remain hanging there? You go away. It's a very tricky thing, very subtle thing. Just try to hear and not the mind. Just try to hear. This is what we should all do. Srila Bhakti Dhira. Wait, let me see if I will get it exactly. Give me this one. This one. Let me see if I will get it exactly. It's more sweeter now. If you get exactly what the child said. More sweet. I saw it in see if I will see it. This is Bhakti Dhira. The devotee who worship the holy name should first petition the Lord for the strength to cast out all these unfavorable tendencies, and should pray thus before Lord Hari on a daily basis. By doing this regularly, the devotee's heart will eventually become purified. Krishna has killed a number of demons which may arise in the kingdom of the heart. So in order to destroy these problems, a devotee must cry very humbly before the Lord and admit defeat. Then the devil will nullify all contaminations. So every morning we should pray to the Lord before you start japa. Before you start japa, you have to pray. Krishna, please help me take out these demons. Right? Any other questions? Yes.
When you gave an example to trick the mind by saying only one round of japa or one mantra, I'm trying this every day, but then there is one more voice which tells me, I know you are trying to trick me. How to trick the other voice? Which is that voice then?
Yes. So tell the man, yes. This I have to do and have to do it. That's all. This I have to do and have to do it. Because you're not my friend. This is another distraction, so we should not listen to that mind also. We should also neglect that mind. It's another distraction. It's another distraction. The mind is very clever. So it's another distraction. Therefore, we should not listen. Whatever is coming from the mind, don't listen. It's another branch of Maya. So I'm not listening. So forget it also. So forget it. It's another way. Maya is very experienced. We mentioned before, it's a pure devotee. Not the conditioned soul. He knows better than us. So, that's another branch of. So don't listen.
One question is, we discussed the nature of the mind and it says the mind is fickle. Now, this fickleness of the mind, if you study the life of pure devotees, like in Krishna Karnamrita, Bilba Mangal Thakur also says that my mind is restless. So even for pure devotees, that particular quality of the mind is not changing. It's still fickle, or it's still restless. So then, to make the mind rigid, is that the solution? Because sometimes we may end up doing that. That mind is fickle, so we make the mind very rigid. But will that help? Because here we see that when they are purified, again they say the mind is very restless.
Sometimes, or most of the time, let me say, most of the times, the pure devotees out of humility, they speak something which we may misunderstand. Jamunacharya. Anytime I think of sex, I spit. So devotee, oh, that level is still there. So, I mean, it's not possible. It is possible. It is possible. But pure devotees, it is possible. Srila Prabhupada said, keep naked women here. I will not see. So means what? It is still there. It's gone. The way to transform this is a different science, which we also have to understand. Which we should understand, because some of us, we have difficulty because we don't know the science. What is lost? Lost means what? What is lost?
Enjoy the material world.
Okay. Good.
Opposite sexes get attracted to each
Okay. What is real?
Reflection of love. Perverted reflection of
Yes, that is lost. Lost means opposite of love. It's opposite. No, not two things. It's opposite. Just like every coin has the other side. See, but it's the same coin. So, misdirected love. That is lost. So, it's not that we are going to go and take another express road. No, we have to come back the same way. This is Bhakti. The same way you have to come back. How to do that? Now we should practice how to love everyone. People who care for others doesn't have the torment of lust. People who care for people. When we are speaking, treat everyone nicely. You can look at it. Oh, why? No. But the thing is that you'll be tormented by the demon. The science is, please, start from beginning. Be kind with everybody. Do not hate anyone. If you want to become a serious devotee, that's the beginning. Treat everyone nicely, kindly. Appreciate others. Feel very free with others. You will never be tormented by the lust. Because you are processing loving God. The love of God is not at the gate of Vaikuntha. It's not there you're going to get pure love or open the door and I enter. It is from here. It is from here. How we are going to stay with Krishna in Goloka is begin from here. Here. How we deal with each other here. Please listen. How we deal with each other has serious effect in our Christian consciousness. Did you hear?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
How we treat each other is? Yes. If I'm looking at you with, is this an inconvenience? Laws will be tormenting you. This is natural. If you are related with each other with inconvenience, you don't need a astrologer. You don't need an astrologer. You are being tormented by lust. There are only two things. If you want to be free, you should be very kind with people. To be kind, treat people nicely doesn't mean we should misbehave or no restriction. No, that is a different thing. That is nonsense. We should be very, very careful. We should recognize the importance of everyone with us, everything with us, and be very free. That is the way we can transform this lust into love. Is it clear? If you don't do it, it's okay, it's a problem. But you should be sure that your constant companion will be lost, dealing with us. And then after so many years, you're wondering if this Krishna consciousness is working. If it's not working for you, please, it's working for other people. It is working. It's not a bluff, it's a reality. So sometimes our pure devotees, they speak something like that. So it does not really mean that they are still being tormented by that. In that unspoken obstacles in Krishna consciousness, Prashanda Goswami Maharaj is mentioned there, giving an example of Jat Bharat. It's a Mahabhagat. So when the Raghunath has spoke to him, he pierced his heart, but that's for a moment. It's a moment. So that does not bring contamination. So we cannot say that, oh, seeing after this. No, that is different. Different. Yes, it is very, very difficult and it takes a long time. That depends on how we are applying ourselves to the process of Krishna consciousness. All the technology in Krishna consciousness, how we are applying ourselves to it. That matters a lot. So, to renounce, according to chapter 6 Bhagavad Gita, to renounce, renunciation is not about hatred. So if we think we are renounced and we have a hatred, that is a real, is the main problem being covered. So we don't think that. It's a big problem. Renunciation doesn't mean hatred, right? So I don't like to eat sweet rice. In this temple, no sweet rice in this temple. No sweet rice. You see, sanga vacation, no sweet rice. Because you don't like it, so it's condemned? No. Some people are like that. That is wrong. You don't like it because it's not good for you, but don't make it a general case. This happened in the Bible. It happened in the Bible. If you look at Bible, you see letter to Corinthians, letter to Timothy, letter to Titus. It's like a devotee has written to the spiritual master, Gurudev, how can I control my anger? And the Gurudev replied you, if you want to control your anger, you should learn how to forgive. So in the morning, you come to the temple room in the morning after Mangalati. It's a letter from Gurudev. Every devotee in this temple must Did everybody write the same thing to the spiritual master? No. But now it is a general case for everybody. This is wrong. It is in the Bible. We shouldn't bring it in Krishna consciousness. It is happening. You're not so pronounced, but it's happening. One spiritual master in ISKCON, one special master. Here in ISKCON, a disciple made the bread for him. It was not good. He doesn't know how to make the bread. So it was not good. The next day, the Guru tolerated it. The second day, the third day, hey Prabhu, please don't make bread for me again. He sent letter to all disciples. Gurudev does not want bread. Gurudev doesn't want bread. So if you come to a temple, don't make bread for him. Let's order from Guru. He didn't show people the letter. But it's an individual thing. Because the disciple does not know, this particular person does not know how to make a very tasty, nice bread. So, we shouldn't make it a general case. If you don't like something, don't make it a general case. Inexperienced brahmachari. All these householders in this country are all sales gratifiers. It happened in the past also like that. And the householder will come to see the answer the next day. All brahmacharis are all pretenders. So you say, whimsical, neophyte, neophyte. They're all pretenders. We know them. We know them. That is not the way. Yes.
Another question, Mark. Like you mentioned, we have to be mindful while we do so many things. One thing is being active on the external level. One is engaging one's senses and doing something physically, working like a karmi. Another thing is to be mindful, which means one is more on the mental and intellectual level. So we see people who are very active by nature. So then they tend to not be mindful. And then we see people who are mindful, but then they tend to become inactive. They want to go to a recluse, a secluded area, so that they can be mindful. But they tend to become inactive. But we see Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, Arjuna, you fight and be active at the same time think of me. So to come to that balance, that one is externally doing everything one is supposed to do, and internally one is mindful, how one can do that?
That depends on the strength of our sadhana. We have mentioned many times, strong sadhana brings empowerment. Strong sadhana brings empowerment. What is empowerment? We have been invested with extra ability to understand the scriptures, to understand better devotional service, to understand what is Krishna consciousness relationship, to understand everything in a better way. We become very, very potent in preaching, in cooking, in distribution, for everything we do. Become more and more efficient. That comes from empowerment, and empowerment comes from very strong sadhana. Without strong sadhana, we will not get there. How are we going to get purified? We'll simply become mechanical, going to the extreme end, both sides. And the Maya in between is that those who are very active, grossly active, they see you useless. Those who are in passion, they will see a person in a mode of goodness to be useless. See this one, inactive. And those who are in the mode will see different person, you useless. See, you are a donkey. Fools. It's both extreme. Why the extreme? Sadhana is missing. Strong sadhana is missing. If there's strong sadhana, we will get purified. By this purification, we will get empowered, and everything will become more and more and more and clear and clear and clear. So we'll be able to see things perfectly, properly. So that we are fully engaged. Rupa Goswami supported that, Yukta Vairagya. We are fully engaged in Krishna consciousness. At the same time, we are not attached to the result. This is Krishna consciousness. Not to abandon anything which we use in Krishna, or to be attached for everything for our sanctification. Both are condemned. Make sense? It is happening. Why? There's no purification. We're not getting purified sufficiently. So we are just like a devotee who is very busy, working, not time to read, not time to chant. Very dangerous. Because after some time, it is natural for us to think, all of you depend on me. I'm the one. Without me, none of you exist. You're existing because of me. It will come to that. What is to back what we are doing? Not knowledge. And knowledge, Krishna said, it comes by our doing our duty. We develop knowledge by doing our prescribed duty, not by giving it up, but by doing it. Okay, so to show example, I'm working. King Janaki is working. Although we have nothing to do, but to show a good example, we are working. Prescribed duty is important. We must do it. Because by this prescribed duty, we get purified. Purification comes from it. So sadhana brings empowerment. And that empowerment will become invested with extra energy. And every devotee needs this. Will survive by empowerment. So we don't go to this, working is Maya, so I don't want to do it. So I don't become a complacency. So now I become a lonely person. Go and hide somewhere, loneliness will come. And we would think, the word the Gurudev used here, cleverly, subtle. Cleverly subtle. So I'll be thinking that, yes, all of you are in Maya. So I'm the only one here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. But it will not take long when I will stop it. The uncontrolled sense will uproot me from where I'm sitting, and I'll be engaged in what we have denounced in the beginning. You go back to it. It means there's no advancement. We didn't make advancement from there. So you have to fall back. Therefore, we are stressing. It is compulsory for us to make advancement. It's compulsory. Because no one feels happy being a failure in everything we do. We feel very happy when there is progress and success in everything we do. There's encouragement. Even if nobody encourages you, but when you see the result of what we have done, you will be encouraged. After business, after the whole working, your paycheck is very fat. Yes. You can tolerate all the insults we get rid of, right? Yes. But if at the end the salary is, what will I do with this? If I will not take care of my problem for 2 weeks. So should I continue with this job? We're thinking to change it. So we should see the result of what we're doing. We should see. So even though devotees are humble, no devotee is going to tell you, no, do you know I'm a pure devotee? Can you see? Nobody will tell you like that. But that doesn't mean that the pure devotees are not having experience or higher experience of what they're practicing. What is the proof that your one is making advancement? If it's not there, that the pure devotees are full. So what is the point? Yes, we have something which is taking their life, that one is continuously practicing Krishna consciousness with all difficulties. He stick his or her head there. Means he's getting something. If he's not getting something, nobody can continue. Who continue to eat the food which is tasteless? No. Nobody. You take a spoon. What is this? For anyone to keep eating, The food is tasty for him or her. Food is tasty. For anyone at all to keep eating, I mean, he's getting pleasure from it. So he's eating. One can say, well, I just want to fill my stomach. But you didn't eat sand. You can fill your stomach also with sand. But you don't eat the sand. It's eating food. So me, some taste is there. That's why one can continue to eat. All right? Thank you. Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaura Premanandi. All glorious assembled devotees.